Oh, good morning on day, I don't know, 79. I'm at the top of Muir Pass. I'm actually in Muir Hut right now. I'll flip the camera and show you around. Alright, so there's the plaque on the inside of the shelter. It's a nice little shelter. It's meant to be an emergency shelter. But I'm sure people sleep up here sometimes. Although I really wouldn't plan on it. It's very echoey. It's got a nice dome structure. And we'll go out the door here, go into the bright light. I'll show you where we are. Came from somewhere over that direction. Really more like over there, somewhere in that valley. And now we're gonna go this way. As always with these things, the adventure is only ever halfway done, and sometimes not even halfway.
Got Nono, some other random in front of her, slowly picking their way across the rocks, across this one. It's a nice gentle little stream crossing.
See what I mean about this obstacle course business? Like, this is the trail, and that's what happens to it.
This is the Evolution Creek alternate. So this is the less deep version, and definitely the safer version that we're taking than what's on the PCT. It's still a little deep. I just crossed and it was well up to my bum. Nice job.
So that little crossing we did earlier, this is where you end up if you don't cross it well, which is why we crossed at that safer spot. I'm on my way down into the valley. Alright, hopefully we'll sleep very well.
Hey there, end of another long day in the Sierra. Did just under 18 miles today, and I did end up doing a little over 20 yesterday. So I thought all day about doing this video because it's hard, and it's mostly mental. Like, it's mentally hard because it's physically hard, but it's mostly mental what's being hard for me right now. It is still fun and beautiful and adventure and all these wonderful things, like all of that is still there, but the reason I've been thinking about this video all day is because, like, I had a bit of a breakdown today. I kind of reached like a breaking point, and was trying to decide whether I wanted to share that experience, but honestly the way in which I broke was a little comical, so I'm going to share the experience. But basically, so I've already mentioned the Sierra is tough, right? There's just challenge after challenge after challenge. You're constantly getting up early. Today, my alarm went off at 2:15 so that I could get up over another pass before all the snow melts or it gets slushy. And that's stressful because you don't stop hiking. Like, you do this big thing in the morning, you go over this pass, you usually get lost a few times, which we did this morning. Because the trail's under snow, and some footprints go the right way, some footprints go the wrong way. Like, you're just following them, you don't always know, even though anyway. So, and then even after you get over the pass, you can't take a break because you gotta get down before the snow gets slushy and makes your life miserable. So like this morning with all the getting lost and just how much snow there was, I hiked for over 6 hours straight of, like, difficult for me hiking, and it was tough. And then, so to top it off, and this is on top of yesterday's hard day too, where, I got up that early this morning, I did that long day yesterday, didn't stop hiking until 7 in the evening. Started at 4 that morning, didn't stop hiking until 7 in the evening. There were some breaks in there, but anyway, it's just this mounting, like, exhaustion and frustration. And so this morning, after doing, doing the pass, finally getting to the point where we're kind of out of the snow, I am just so exhausted that
and we're kind of following this, the trail's kind of going around this lake, and I'm already off trail, and I realized that because we lost the trail somewhere in the snow or the mud, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, but I look at my map and I'm like, well, it just goes around the lake, so I'll just follow the lake. And that turned out to be a terrible idea. There's like, I saw that it kind of skirted this little peninsula and the trail was on the other side, and I was like, that's fine, I'll just, you know, I'll just do the lake side of the peninsula and I'll come back and meet the trail. Well, the peninsula is just a giant mountain rock thing that was impassable, but doesn't mean I didn't try. I actually got pretty far before I realized that this was just a terrible, terrible plan, and so I have to turn around and go back all the way around the way that I had came and get back to the trail. And again, that was dumb on my part. I should have just, basically I didn't walk up to the trail because there was a hill. I didn't want to climb the hill, so I thought I'll just walk by the lake, which just bad planning on my part. Anyway, so I'm incredibly frustrated with myself and my situation and just life in general. And so when I finally get to the other side of the lake, I'm just angry, and it's not even at anyone specifically, at myself, but at like, I'm just angry. And Silver and Pacemaker are over there taking a break. I had waved to them from across the lake to be like, hey, I'm stuck on this silly mountain, but I'm gonna come back around. And I throw an adult temper tantrum. I walk up and I say something about, man, how I like to make life hard for myself or something like that. Throw my poles, just you know, I think they both went different directions. They're just all over the place. And start taking, and just like plop down, start taking off my shoes and socks. I'm tossing my socks like as I going, and there's 4, I wear sock liners, so there's 2 on each foot, so 4 things that I can throw. And I find that I don't know what to do with all this like built up frustration. And Silver says something about having a swim in the lake, because he did. And I was like, I'll just throw everything in the lake. I was just so frustrated. I'm just gonna throw my pack in the lake. Fortunately, I had the foresight to realize that would cause me more grief than I already had. But that's how I was feeling. Like, I just wanted to just throw all the things in the lake, including myself. Because I'm standing there, and like as I'm throwing off my socks, right? And I have the urge to just keep undressing. I think I just wanted more things to throw, but I just want, for some reason, I just want to like strip down and just, I don't know. But I realized that, like, well, I can throw myself in that lake, and maybe that will help. Maybe that was something I can do with all this pent up frustration. So that's exactly what I do. I strip down to my underwear. This lake is freezing. It's a snowmelt lake. I mean, it is cold. And I just like dive in. Apparently, and this is what I've been told by the 2 people who witnessed this, I did both of those things very angrily, like undressed very angrily and just threw myself in very angrily. And if you ever are like too built up and you need to cool down, an icy lake it will literally help you cool down. So like I knew it was gonna be cold, but I dive in there and I come up like spluttering and gasping. It's the type of cold where like all of the things in like your face and chest just close, like they just stop working, so you can't like breathe, you can't open your eyes, your mouth, your lungs have just gone like, and like, so I come up and I like jump up, and I jump up so hard that I knock myself off my feet and dunk myself again in the lake. And so I come up spluttering and gasping for a second time, and just the shock of that to my system helped knock all of that anger almost completely out of me. Like you're just, it's such a shocking, jarring thing that it just, that's all of your energy goes into being just that cold. Anyway, so come out of the lake, and I'm already feeling a lot calmer just from having done that. But my tantrum's not quite over, because I want my towel, which is at the bottom of my pack. So to get to the bottom of my pack, several other things have to come out, and those kind of got thrown a little bit. There's a little bit more throwing of things, but then I calmed down and it was fine. Just kind of I got to my after, you know, the micro spikes and the headlamp and everything goes flying. I just grab my towel, kind of walk away for a second, take a few deep breaths, and calm down. but it was just interesting to see this reaction out of myself. This is the first time I have ever thrown myself in an icy lake out of frustration or anything quite like that. But it was surprisingly effective. So now I know that if I'm ever getting out of control, just dunk me in some cold water. Yeah, like, and that's just the kind of mindset that I was in and have been in, and I haven't totally shaken it. But I do feel a lot better now. So, yeah, hopefully tomorrow is a bit of a shorter day. We do not have to do a pass in the morning, which is wonderful. That means I don't have to wake up at 2 or 3 and have this like antsy feeling of having to move fast enough to like beat the snow or the sun really that melts the snow. And yeah, I don't have to do that tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get to sleep in, relax a little, hike at a pace that's more comfortable for me. That's been part of the problem as well, that I've been finding that I can't seem to keep up with the people that I'm hiking with, which is not a situation I usually find myself in, and that's really getting in my head a lot. And I hate that. I know better than to compare myself to other people, and I usually don't, but it's getting in my head, and that's actually one of the hardest things to let go of sometimes. Maybe I'll have to find another icy river or something. Anyway, it really has been a beautiful day despite my mental struggles. We're set up at camp now. Got a fire going. It's a group of us. As long as I can get myself in a good headspace, I think it'll be a really nice night. Doesn't seem that concerned about us. Well, you're gonna jump over that log, change your mind?